Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm here with my bro, Anthem and Logan from Anthem Gold. How goes it?
How you doing, bro?
Thank you for having us. Hope you're doing great.
Yeah, man, I'm having a day. I'm happy to have you on, and I want to dive into, stable coins, asset tokens, gold, silver, fiat-backed coins, tokens, things like that. But let's dive real quick into Anthem Gold and what you do, how you do it, and a little bit about like the roadmap moving forward, and then we'll dive into the topics.
Yeah, Anthem Gold is a fully gold-backed asset token, and we're here to help people transfer their wealth and to be able to keep their freedom and grow their freedom. So we're really excited. We're the first in the U.S. to be based in the U.S.
Go for it.
They're offered in 174 countries, and yeah, it's a first gold product on video. So if you go to our website, anthemgold.com, there's a webcam there.
Yeah,
So
the live feed security thing's really cool. I love that. And you
appreciate
found a way to gamify that a little bit. Logan, if you could dive into that a little bit.
I think what you're thinking of is a different product that we have,
Oh,
but
that
that's a
might be true.
great
You guys are,
idea.
yeah, doing a
I
lot
was
of
going to
awesome
talk
stuff.
about I was going to talk about how we were going to bring a decentralized chat to the sidebar of it, kind of like
Ooh,
a
like the old school Poloniex troll box in a sense.
troll boxes, and keep people on our site, keep people interested in Anthem Gold, and really just fill out this vault.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome. So where are you at right now?
So we just launched on the 23rd of April, and we minted the first 1,000 tokens. You can see the kilo bars in the vault, and we just did a stealth launch. I mean, we did press it in terms of a press release, but we haven't really marketed. We have an affiliate program. We've gotten dozens of people already signed up for, just word of mouth. It's exciting. We basically, it's a pretty simple product. It's gold in a vault, and we back tokens with this gold, and the gold is redeemable for the tokens are redeemable for gold from the vault.
So that's
So
pretty much exactly what would set it aside from a standard gold vault, right? Is the
yeah,
tokenized aspect of it.
exactly, you can transfer it around like a Bitcoin, Ether, anything else, except that it's fully backed by gold, and there's an indisputable inventory log. So we save everything, we anchor it into Bitcoin using this protocol called Hercules that we built last year, specifically to produce the most cost-effective, indisputable inventory log. So that's why Anthem Gold is the most trusted. AGLD is the most trusted gold product on the planet. So, and it's the most useful on the planet because you can send it around like a Bitcoin, but it has the volatility characteristics of physical gold because it is physical gold.
So as this space moves forward and starts to grow, where do you see Anthem Gold in a crypto or a blockchain asset based mainstream environment?
Well, given the recent news on Tether and Bitfinex
Yep.
and Crypto Capital and Binance and Kraken and kind of the whole kind of what do you call that? I don't know, quadfecta or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Of bedfellows, and it looks like we're seeing some fallout. The New York Attorney General and some indictments. It looks like coming now even. So it's really interesting times, for sure. And I think that really the market's recognizing they really need a trustworthy, fully backed token that really is more correlated to what we buy in our daily life, like our rent, our utilities. And the fact of the matter is that that is gold.
Yep.
Bitcoin as a speculative asset is amazing. Just if you want to have investment parts of your portfolio and you want to have spending cash around for when you actually need to buy things to live on, then you want to have both. So we think the AGLD is going to become like the new national currency, and that Bitcoin is like the new gold. So we're really excited about the marriage of the two.
Yeah, and it's pretty ironic that these asset tokens are by definition, by what they're backed by, the assets more stable than things like stable coins that are backed by fiat, which is not stable at all. There's some crazy irony in the lingo that we have to use now moving into this new era of money that doesn't quite relate to the traditional era of finance, and the terms kind of overlap a little bit. I'm wondering, is there any bounty systems or ways for people to get involved to earn EGLD?
So in terms of AGLD, you can really earn it by being an affiliate. That really is the bounty, is this, educating others about getting in. And the neat thing is that, maybe you've talked with people before about crypto, but they're a little bit weirded out by it. Maybe
Yeah.
they're a little older, right? But like the idea of gold backing the crypto is really, really cool. And we basically force people to get into Bitcoin or Ethereum ultimately by buying the AGLD, because we only accept Bitcoin and Ethereum. So,
And this is a way to get the legacy, traditional investors and, the precious metals involved in these, digital gold era, movement. And I'm wondering, like, what's that process been like, talking to the institutional, legacy gold investors and moving them forward into a tokenized asset layer?
they're excited about it. I mean, they're skeptical like anything new. Good to be skeptical, and they're open, and they love the idea in a lot of ways about Bitcoin. It's just too difficult of a concept to have something digital be unique. Just because I think in most of our lives, at least those of us that are older than 20 years old, the digital assets weren't unique, and so they really were like very easy to inflate value wise. So here we have gold, and it's a in between asset. And ultimately, if we end up seeing commercialization of blockchain, which I think we're going to see in the next 10 years, you need to have asset tokenization, because the protocols need to be able to recognize the assets in order to be able to communicate with one another. So we think gold is a perfect first start, and it just happens to be an asset that we have a lot of experience in. So it works out quite nicely.
Yeah, you have a lengthy history in the gold industry, moving forward into tokenizing assets as well. And I want to dive into like the differences there between like something like a stable coin or an asset token, and what sets them apart. What makes it different than one or the other?
So an asset token is coming to be denoted as specifically a token that is backed by something, and specifically an asset. So not a security. So in this case, a physical bar of gold. In the case of AGLD, a stable coin, has kind of now been a little bit looser to more of a token that's pegged to the value of something else, ultimately. So it's kind of evolved. And this the language of stablecoin itself, I think, was probably only about a year old word in and of itself. And this industry moves really fast. Not even really technically an industry yet, but burgeoning industry, I
Right.
guess you call it. So it moves like 10x, in my opinion, the speed of traditional software. And traditional software typically moves about 10x the speed of traditional analog businesses. So it's pretty awesome. It's fun times.
Logan, I want to get into a little bit of the tech behind what really makes an asset token something that people can, not just trust but also verify in, and may bestow some confidence, as opposed to getting a piece of paper from somebody that says it's redeemable for gold that I have to get audited, things to that effect. What goes behind creating something like what you're doing with Anthem?
Yeah, so it really started years ago when the team decided that we had to track the provenance of the gold and ensure that all of it was in decentralized space, as well as hosted in multiple blockchains for data integrity. So what we have here on our site is a decentralized asset list here. It shows the amount of tokens that we've minted, the circulating supply so far, under management, which is the ratio, and then we also have the HERC details. Our HERC details go to our Factum Explorer.
Right now, I think I might be seeing something different. I don't know. I think I see Anthem Gold, my account, Logan login.
Where do you see that?
On the screen that you're sharing right now, it's
Well,
just looks like it's my account login page.
Oh, my apologies. I must be sharing the wrong screen. Here, let me come
Yeah,
back
when you
here.
were explaining, I was like, I don't think he's pointing at the thing he thought he was pointing at.
Sorry, everyone. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. That makes much more sense.
This makes a lot more sense, and I'm glad that we're here now. So when we're here at this asset list, you can see that it has the amount of HLDs that have been minted, the circulating supply that we've had, and what's under management so far at the vault. And then when we look at the Factum Explorer, you can verify that these metrics have gone through our HERC blockchain supply chain. And when we look at the, if you go here and look at these hashes here, this data has the gold manufacturer, what
Oh,
this
wow.
bar is, and how it was put. And then if we look at this here, this image is easy to view here.
Is it easy to import the gold's legacy history so we can track like where the gold's come and gone before it was tokenized, or does the chain start from the moment it was tokenized and then move forward?
Our chain starts from the moment it was tokenized
Okay.
and moves forward. We do have documentation from before our having the gold.
This
And
brings up an
also,
interesting concept for a gold investor for as an added interest for value as if that gold belonged to Warren Buffett himself, it may be worth more than gold circulating on the market or other gold, right? So if I could prove that, say, Vitalik held that token, it may have more value than other gold-backed tokens, even though it's just gold.
yeah, attestation to ownership seems like a very interesting concept. And because you brought that up, I'm going to do some research on that.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's awesome. And I've seen it kind of happen with other gold deposits and vaults where they have different prices on the same amount of gold because they have different reputations of custodial service. So some
Mm-hmm.
people may be willing to buy the gold a little bit higher price than somewhere else. And it's just interesting to think of the nostalgic factor of a celebrity status of owning an asset. If it happens today in houses, if you wanted to go buy a house and a celebrity used to live in that house, it is intrinsically worth more now because somebody used to live there. It doesn't matter about the property itself or the actual value of the land, but just because you're nostalgic about the Breaking Bad TV show, that house that had the pizza thrown on it's worth millions now.
That is a really interesting concept because it goes to show what our species is capable of in providing value within the consciousness of man. Just like those old school Bitcoin poker chips say, that value doesn't exist outside of the consciousness of man.
Mm.
I think what we can do though is have this gold backed asset token have the value that our species puts on one of the most precious metals in our entire history.
Hey, I see here that you're about to log into Anthem Gold and it says increase your account security, download Edge and enable 2FA. So you actually have login with Edge enabled on your platform.
Yeah, we've been working closely with Paul and Kylan and the rest of the group,
Wow.
and they have provided us their SDK to provide authentication as well as host our wallets. And I can find this on my device. I can go ahead and log in to this just via scanning the QR code. And on my device here, I just have an Edge wallet. And if I go to the scan feature,
So you're just basically scanning it as if you were scanning a QR code to send crypto.
exactly, and on my device, it asks me to accept. It says Edge login is successful. And then it will log in and show my balance.
That is really cool, man. That is awesome. Next level. There's a lot of projects out there that don't have this level of crypto security. And was this something that was easy to add, or what's holding back other projects from using something that's this, in my opinion, important to mass adoption?
It's really, and it's still loading as I'm showing it to you, but it's something that we can help others to achieve. Augur's achieved it. There's now something with Binance that has achieved such a thing, and because I'm showing it to you, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it's always when it's a live stream, man. It's the object is changed by the observation or the observer. Anthem, I wanted to dive into what your thoughts are about gold backed assets versus things that are like silver backed assets, because gold's not the only precious metal being tokenized right now. There's a lot of these projects popping up that are starting to move into the tokenizing silver market. I'm just curious, where do you see that? Is it something that you would consider maybe competition or complementary to what Anthem Gold's doing?
It's complementary. I mean, the raw numbers are about $170 billion of gold a year is purchased spot. Silver is about 35 billion. So the market's about little more than 5 times smaller. We intend to get into silver. We have silver at the vault. We just haven't tokenized it yet.
Okay,
Um,
so is that on the roadmap?
yeah, silver, other precious metals, other non-precious metals,
Oh, that's
other
cool.
things. All asset tokenization is on the map for us. It's really just starting with gold because gold happens to be the most convenient of all assets to tokenize. It's a really light touch regulatory regime. It's very bountiful, found above ground. People like buying it and holding it as a store of wealth. So it makes for a very convenient asset. What makes us kind of special is being able to have full insurance in the US on a class 3 vault for a digital gold currency or metal currency of any sort of product is really difficult to do. And this has to go with a little bit of history. Like 15 years ago, a digital gold currency company that was based in the US called eGold was
Yeah, I
violating
remember. Yeah, Eagle. Wow.
Patriot Act. Yep, yeah, back in the day. And basically, they were vaulting with Brinks in the U.S., one of their vaults, and ever since then, Brinks, Loomis, G4S in the U.S., any of the big bank service companies in the U.S. will not vault digital gold currency product because of that. So the fact that we did this is amazing. We're in Texas. We're in a co-location data center. It's kind of how we did this, and we had to build out the vault ourselves. So it took us a couple years effectively to figure it out. It took us a couple years to figure out the build for Anthem Gold, and it took us a couple years to figure out Hercules, which is how we audit basically the inventory log.
Oh wow, dude, that is awesome. And I wanted to shout out Kate TV in the chat, the live chat. She says, "Congratulations on being first on Brock's show Anthem." So yeah, congratulations, man.
Yeah, grateful. I got to spend 11 days with Brock Pierce in Puerto Rico for a lot of that time,
Game
and
changers, right?
totally, yeah, it was just an honor. I mean, he's the number one person in our whole industry by far. He created the first ICO with Mastercoin Omni, the first stablecoin with Tether, the first STO with Blockchain
Yeah.
Capital, and he's invested in like tons of other exchanges, other projects. So, he's a part of a lot of different stuff. So, and he's been at it, for even before that with digital assets. So it was a total honor. Really grateful for the time I got to spend with Brock, and yeah, really grateful to be on his Game Changers program. So totally stoked about that.
Yeah, man, that is awesome. I want to segue back a little bit to that gold and silver and maybe touch on the fiat tokenized stable coins and the longevity they may have because, everybody's saying down with fiat, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Well, if, fiat were to go away, we lose that USD pairing. I would see more of an asset pairing, or is Bitcoin the bottom layer, right? So, like, in a world where fiat isn't no more, where do people cash out, to kind of take their profits? And I see that more in like asset tokens than stable coins because of this recent, evolvement around stable coins and fiat backed tokens. So, where do you see the place for asset tokens and fiat based stable coins moving forward?
I think you really great points. I think asset tokens and gold specifically are going to be like the new national currency equivalent that
Yep.
people will basically find, hoard the new better money of Bitcoin and basically spend, the assets more freely. So I think ultimately gold is great because you have like $7-8 trillion worth of it already above ground in bar form, coin form, like easy to sell format. And at the end of the day, a bank account is a privilege, not a right. And a fiat stablecoin is in direct competition with all bank payment services.
Yep.
So the idea that banks are going to be cool with like having hordes of stable coin like reserves in a bank account to me is unrealistic. And it's really unrealistic to try to obtain like tens, let alone hundreds, or let alone billions of dollars of cash in a vault and expect that there's going to be like some kind of semblance of frictionlessness. I mean, you're looking at 5 to 10% minimum just on the deposit of cash if somehow you could get that much cash without being a bank.
Yeah, and we've
Uh,
seen Tether has even announced, they're practically insolvent. They're backed by debt issued notes, not just fiat or other assets as well. So they're just moving into that fractional reserve lending 2.0 on the blockchain if we start to go with these stable coins.
Yeah, I mean, you see the problem where, this crypto capital company in Panama is like partnered with some shadow bank, and yet we have like some of the largest exchanges and I mean, Tether some days trades even more than Bitcoin volume wise. And we've got, Binance, which I think is the number one exchange by volume, tied in Bitfinex, which used to be number one, Kraken, which, is one of the top in the US, all tied into this crypto capital. And it just goes to show that you have a major vulnerability if you need to have like a reserve of fiat somewhere like this. It's totally unrealistic for it to get any kind of scale. And I think we're starting to see this fall apart now, Tether.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to the, people were wondering why people weren't up in such arms about the news, and I think it's pretty similar to the whole, fiat is a scam, Tether is a scam thing, is the people that are aware that fiat is a scam don't care, and the people that were aware that Tether is a scam, they just don't care. But luckily, moving forward, people won't opt in, they will care. It's just, I think it's the conditioned mentality of the day trader. I feel more comfortable in the stablecoin thing, and if I feel, unfortunately, that Tether coming out and all these stablecoins coming out with this news it actually adds some more confidence in the scammy fiat-backed stablecoins, because it's worked this far and it's been a scam the whole time.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of validity to that, and I think that markets demand better products once the markets realize the need for the demand. And I think, we saw that a little bit with Mt. Gox.
Yep.
And, some of the earlier exchanges seeing better governance. And we've seen a little better governance, but at the end of the day, we still don't see accountability of the reserves of these exchanges. And, at the end of the day, like, you see what happens, like bad things happen. You need to custody your own keys. You need to be responsible for that. And ultimately, the less amount of counterparty risk that you can have, the better. The reality is, if you have an asset, it's in the physical world. If you're going to tokenize it, you have to ultimately custody the physical thing somewhere, right? So the other reality is, if we want to see blockchain, Bitcoin, these protocols commercialized, we have to deal with the physical world, because all goods and services ultimately deal with the physical world in like one way or another. Whether fully directly or in some ways indirectly with services. So, these are realities. If we want to see, crypto really take over the way we do things, then we have to see it run into business now. So that's what we think asset tokens are really going to help do.
It's pretty ironic. People call Bitcoin digital gold, which I think is a complete understatement and underestimate of what Bitcoin truly is. And it, again, ironic that, it is AGLD, that, Anthem Gold is digital gold. I really don't like saying Bitcoin is digital gold. It's so much more than that. And I think It is important to separate the differentiary between Bitcoin is digital gold to Anthem is digital gold. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, Bitcoin is a network software because it's a protocol. So it is not digital gold. It is analogous in some ways to gold in the sense that gold anchors the marketplace system of governments, and it looks like Bitcoin is going to anchor the marketplace of like digital commerce ultimately. And so in that ways you can draw some analogies, but it's important to understand at its core, Bitcoin protocol is a protocol, and that means it's a network software. So that means that it's a great foundation of security that we can build on, just like other protocols.
Yep.
Build applications on them, layer other protocols on them. They give us options, but yeah, it is important to understand what crypto is.
Hey, and Logan, I wanted to dive into a little bit about the differences between Herc, Anthem, and MyVault.pro, and a little bit about how these projects kind of tie into what Anthem Gold and the roadmap for your project is moving forward.
Yeah, so with Herc, we have a roadmap on our website. I'll bring that up right now. Go ahead and take a look at what we're doing. We're going to be releasing a testnet of our Docu NFT in terminal operating system within the next quarter. And we're really excited to continue our pilots of Helmsley Sphere, as well as some others that we're in talks with. When we look at the MyVault.pro, we see that we have our holdings here with some gold dust and some ETH. Right now it's a transactions list. We're going to be adding more sequences and panels as our UX finishes up
Okay.
what we're working on. And then as we as we move forward throughout the year, we'll really have a lot to think about as ETH 2.0 comes out and more test nets come out, and how that's going to affect the landscape of really, everything that works currently. um, and we're working really closely with them, them being like Prism and building their stuff that they come out with. We've had an eWASM testnet for months, and we've been kind of providing some hash rate to that. We're really just trying to stay as updated as possible, as well as continue what we're really doing in the back end.
So, in this is more of a worldly question here, because the U.S. may have a different perspective, and I'm just curious, since you guys are more worldly there with this, the gold industry. What is it like outside of the U.S. regulations for investors, and what is the mentality difference for this as an investment opportunity for them as opposed to a U.S. investor?
So I'm going to put our map up here, and then if you want to deliberate on it.
Yeah, so basically, we've got 174 countries that today we can have as clients, which is amazing.
That is huge, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, all the countries in the light green are good, or states. We're working with our general counsel and our token council to basically see how quickly we can get approved in some of these other U.S. states.
It's clearly, I mean, as you can see from the map, everybody, it is clearly more difficult to be involved in the U.S. than it is the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's kind of sad actually, but it just goes to show how strong, some of the lobbying groups are in these various places, how much level of corruption and oligopoly there is.
Yeah, I mean, the land of opportunity is digital now, and it's a digital land that we don't have the permissions to pursue our happiness on. It is unconstitutional, in my opinion, and I think it's going to create a wealth drain where investors may travel outside of the U.S. now as to claim residency so they can participate in those pursuits of financial happiness.
You're right. I think that's a really astute point, and it's exactly what's happening because some states are just harder to get licenses in than others, and it's insane. Some states don't require licensing at all, like Texas. So it's just a matter of dealing with sanity, and money and value goes where it's best treated, and where it's not well treated, it leaves. So pretty simple.
Yeah, Logan, where do you see this helping people that may not actually be gold investors today, right? Like, how does this help on-ramp new blood into gold or tokenized assets?
I think as humans, we really just find intrinsically that gold has value, whether we put it into technologies, whether we hoard it, whether we make it into jewelry or eat it. Some people eat gold flakes.
Shout out to Shine Papers. Some people even smoke them.
All right.
They actually accept Bitcoin for gold rolling papers, which I thought was really interesting. I actually have an interview with their CEO tomorrow.
All right, I'm
doing gold back to back. Anthem gold today and Shine Papers tomorrow. Maybe I can get them to start accepting Anthem for Shine.
The only difference is when Ken puts his pants on, he's making gold records.
So do you see this something that appeals to people that may not look at gold as something that's appealing, or maybe actually bring some people that think gold's appealing and realize the power of tokenized assets?
I really do. I think people will see that it has an intrinsic value, and that we will have a fully backed issuance of tokens to gold in the vault, and that they will see the trust layer in that. I think the game theory is pretty simple. Anthem taught that to me 2 years ago, and I've been on board really since day one that he told me his vision. And I'm very happy to have come this far and to have built a team that can iterate very quickly and can build a standard for the industry.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see the legacy meets futurist, economic paradigm shifts here. Like without these on ramps, we can't reach mass adoption. It will not exist without these different legs of different on ramps that bridge separate industries from the legacy institutional investors to the new era tokenized asset layers. And I think, with the interest that even the New York Stock Exchange, the CBOE, CME, everybody's been putting into this, it's the writing's on the wall. And it is unfortunate, I will say, that things like projects like Anthem Gold may be a little ahead of their time, but it's in due time that it will be fruitful and fruition into its roadmap. So I wish you guys much success. Is there anything that you just wanted to touch on or mention before we wrap things up?
Just that, we're, think that this is going to be the bridge to, billions of people getting into crypto, and that billions
more
of
people own gold than Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and billions of people already recognize gold as value. Bitcoin, maybe there's millions at this point.
Yeah, ask how many people on the street, how many of them know the word gold, and ask how many people on the street know the word Bitcoin.
Exactly, right? And if we want to bring in the world into Bitcoin, ultimately, gold is the perfect bridge because people already trust gold as value. So if we want to teach people that Bitcoin is valuable in terms of the software keys, the Satoshis,
Yep.
we need to bring them in. We need to touch their heart to reach their mind. They're trying to have hate campaigns and dissuade stuff. It's just a waste of money. I mean, I like it because it's good for our marketing. It's just at the end of the day, it's always better to touch people where they're at, and gold is where they're at. We live in a physical world. We escape to a digital world, but we live in a physical world. We commerce in a physical world.
Man, when you're talking to investors, you definitely want to be on their home ground and make them feel comfortable and not take them out of their comfort zones, because smart investors don't invest in things that make them uncomfortable. A lot of that do your own due diligence, do your own research goes a long way in the legacy investor side than it does in this industry. So yeah, it definitely matters. And Logan, I guess to wrap things up, maybe you could touch on the affiliate program so people could get involved and actually earn some, digital gold while spreading the word. You're muted.
You go to affiliates.anthemgold.com. I'm already signed in. It's a quick sign up and process. Do you see a blue screen this time, Ken?
Yeah, I see the blue one says
All
today,
right.
clicks and conversions. And yeah, it's affiliates.anthemgold.com.
Yep. And once you're signed up and verified, you'll be able to send out your link through the assets tab. And we have tweets that we can send out. We have YouTube videos that you can embed, coupon codes we
that's
can
awesome.
give you, as well as referral links. It's all right here. You can even go advanced and make your own links. So if you want to snag your link, I have Logan. Then you can go ahead and do that, Ken. So can your followers. And then once you, if you really want to get into it, you can add new sources of where you have your links so that you can track them individually. Reporting is going to be really great so that you can do exporting and really drive up your analytics while sharing the word. And then you'll have your dashboard. We'll always have new messages in here for everyone. So go ahead, sign up, and start sharing.
Yeah, man. If you guys know any gold bugs out there, definitely go to affiliates.anthemgold.com, grab yourself that affiliate link, and shill the future of gold to your gold bug friends, because this is where they're going to bridge that relation to Bitcoin is gold, right? Bitcoin is digital gold. That on-ramp conversation doesn't start with decentralized, peer-to-peer, permissionless, unconfiscatable current. They don't care. You got to talk to them where their head's at, and their head's at gold. So Anthem, Logan, and Anthem Gold, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on and talk to me about, the differences between stable coins and asset-backed tokens, gold, silver, and fiat, and what you guys are working on. Much whoa, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are watching, make sure you drop a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you're watching this, let's keep the conversation going in the comments, and just let me know what you think of the differences between like stable coins like USDT or things like assets that are tokenized like Anthem Gold, and where you envision it, right? Let's keep that conversation going, guys. And as always, have a day.
Thanks, Ken. I'm going to tweet this out right now. Cheers.
Appreciate it.